I just don't even want to do business with him. You know, at the end of the day, this is a business, and fighting me gives him an opportunity to change his life forever. And I don't even want to give him the opportunity.
Пройди, что ты боишься?
Jon Jones teases a stunning new move, joins an international MMA reality show, and stirs the pot with bold hints of a future clash against interim champ Tom Aspinall. Recent social media reports suggest that UFC champion Jon Jones will serve as a team captain in the upcoming ALF Global Reality season. While mainstream outlets have yet to confirm Jones's involvement, multiple posts on X, Instagram, Threads, and MMA specialty sites have fueled the speculation. This instantly garnered attention. However, not everyone welcomed the news with enthusiasm. The fight fans were not too excited for it. A fan tweeted, "Dude is doing everything but fighting Aspinall." The frustration was very apparent as another fight fan tweeted, "No one cares about this retard unless he's fighting Aspinall." Being tired of Jon's shenanigans, the frustration only grew louder as a fan so annoyed asked the UFC to remove him from the roster as he posted on X, "Can UFC cut this guy already?" Amidst the backlash, the show's host, Marif Parayev, gave fans a glimpse behind the scenes with a surprise cameo from Jon Jones, posting a video of the two play wrestling at a villa in Thailand, the very location used for past seasons of The Ultimate Fighter. Parayev also shared a few snapshots with the UFC legend on his Instagram stories, fueling speculation about potential collaborations.
Пройди, что ты боишься? Stop.
On the other hand, during a recent interview, UFC President Dana White made it clear that even during his own prime, he wouldn't want to face Jon Jones. He described Jones as one of the most dangerous and formidable fighters to have ever walked on planet Earth.
Beat Jon Jones, who would you least want to get in the ring with? Otherwise, who would have been more dangerous?
The answer is neither. I'm not getting in the ring with in my prime when I was young and you don't want to mess with either one. Jon Jones and Mike Tyson are two of the nastiest human beings ever.
I interviewed Tom Aspinall in London.
Another one, Jon Jones all day, and I'm the biggest Tyson fan of all time. Jon Jones is.
No, I mean, who would you least want to get in the ring with?
Oh, who would I least?
Personally.
I don't want to get in the ring with anybody.
Of course.
I'm 55 years old.
Reacting to the chatter, Dana White also voiced his admiration for Tom Aspinall, highlighting the interim heavyweight champion's aggressive mindset and willingness to face the division's elite. He applauded Aspinall's drive to fight the best in the world, viewing it as a refreshing trait in a rising star of the heavyweight landscape.
He wants to fight Jon Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat Jon Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight all the best. The problem in this business is you have guys that say a lot of things publicly, but behind the curtains don't mean it. You know, don't really want these fights. Tom Aspinall is not that guy. Tom Aspinall wants to fight all the best in the world, and I love that.
How good is he?
Very good. We're going to find out, though. You know, we make this Jon Jones fight, and obviously a fight like that for a young, talented heavyweight. You know, and if he can win, he could beat Jon Jones. If you're a fighter, you better have that.
Yeah.
That's what you'd have to have. If you want to be one of the all-time greats, that's exactly what you have to have.
Weighing in on the debate, Michael Bisping praised Jon Jones as an all-time great, unbeaten in the octagon and seasoned against elite competition, with a career that speaks for itself. However, Bisping also believes that no fighter is invincible forever. Eventually, everyone meets their match.
Jon Jones is great, and you can't deny what he's done in the octagon, the career that he's had, and he's technically unbeaten. However, you know, everyone meets their match eventually. And I think Tom Aspinall's the new generation, he's the new breed, and he'll go down probably as the greatest mixed martial artist that we've ever had. he's elite as a heavyweight. A lot of the heavyweights, they're good, they're very strong, they're powerful, but they're not as quick and as agile and as technical as Tom. Tom's the whole package. You know, he's like, there's a fighter called George St. Pierre, who's one of the greatest to ever do it. Tom's like a heavyweight George St. Pierre. He's got no weak areas. He's got absolute knockout power, super disciplined, super agile on the feet. He finishes everyone really, really quickly.
However, Bisping points out that Aspinall has never faced anyone like Jon Jones, largely because the heavyweight division isn't known for its technical depth. Jones, on the other hand, has spent his career battling elite-level competition far beyond what Aspinall has encountered. In addition, one important aspect that Michael noted was that Jones has never faced anyone like Aspinall.
He hasn't gone up against somebody like Jon Jones because, as I said, the competition in the heavyweight division isn't necessarily there on a technical level. Jon Jones is. And Jon Jones has fought way better competition than Tom. That's just a fact. But John's never fought anyone like Tom either. John has never fought anyone the size of Tom, and that can generate that kind of power. He had two heavyweight fights, one against Cyril Gane, who took him down really quick and he choked him out. And then he went up against Stipe Miocic. He was really good, and you know, he had a good little go, but he was 42 and he hadn't fought for a while and he's getting on. Tom's 31, in the prime of his life, and I would be very surprised, and this sounds disrespectful, but I'd be very surprised if he got out the first round.
At the same time, Bisping acknowledged that Jones might step in, dominate, and remind everyone why he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. But the truth is, no one will know until they step into the cage.
Right now, he's probably the greatest of all time, but he's just never fought anyone like Tom. And maybe he will prove me wrong and prove everybody wrong and prove the doubters wrong, and maybe he'll put Tom in his place. But we won't know until that fight happens.
Adding another layer of intrigue, Joe Rogan believes Jon Jones will return to the octagon for a showdown with Tom Aspinall, viewing it as a final opportunity for Jones to secure one last moment of glory. On the other hand, Ilia Topuria contends that Jones has already accomplished everything necessary in his career. However, Rogan remains firm in his belief that there's still room for one more fight before Jones calls it a day.
Jon Jones, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, just...
And Jon, what do you think about it? He's gonna come back, he's gonna fight Tom?
Yes, I think he'll fight Tom.
No.
I think he'll hang out. You don't think so? No? Really?
I don't think so.
How come?
For what?
For glory.
He already has the glory.
Yeah, one more glory before the lights fade.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think John's a conqueror. I think
He
can't-
is.
I think he can't sit back.
He's the best of all time. No one
Yeah.
can say the opposite of that.
Well, John's fight IQ is insane.
Insane.
Insane. Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
And did a lot of his career partying, which is even crazier. Like, diminished his body, did coke. Like, one of the things he said to Daniel Cormier, rather, which is one of the coldest things anybody's ever said. He said, "I beat you when I was on coke." That's such a cold-blooded thing to say. It's so cold-blooded.
Crazy.
Look, Aspinall's amazing. He's unbelievable. He's fast as for a heavyweight. He's big. He can grapple. Black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got knockout power. But he's never been in deep water.
On the flip side, Demetrius Johnson offered a contrasting view, suggesting that Jon Jones's move to heavyweight may have slowed him down. Johnson believes that the added weight could become a significant factor in a potential fight with Tom Aspinall, potentially giving the fast and agile Aspinall an edge in the matchup.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the biggest thing that what makes Jon Jones so great is, one, how intelligent he is and how versatile he is. I do believe him going up to heavyweight, he's not as fast as he was when he was at light heavyweight, because he has all that extra weight on him. That's how I feel. He's not pop. He's not, he's not as quick.
Expanding on this idea, with Aspinall being the younger, faster, and naturally bigger fighter, Johnson suggests that while Jones would be the perfect light heavyweight, Aspinall is built for the true heavyweight division.
I think with Tom Aspinall being the younger athlete, faster, bigger, maybe, I feel that Jon Jones is the perfect light heavyweight. Where I feel like Tom Aspinall is a big heavyweight. And the 6 months, I'm not the biggest fan of him winning 6 months. If I was Tom Aspinall, I'd be like, God, dude, I'm not fucking waiting 6 months. Like, y'all need to give me another fight. But then again, this could be the biggest fight of his career if he's able to beat John Jones.
Meanwhile, skepticism continues to brew among fighters, with Robert Whittaker expressing doubt over John Jones's intentions to genuinely face Tom Aspinall. Whittaker suspects Jones may be playing mind games with the interim champ, prolonging negotiations, potentially signing the fight, only to stall for months and ultimately walk away into retirement.
It's hard. I can, at this point right now, I can kind of see John Jones just trolling the hell out of like Tom Aspinall, dude. Like, I can see him like signing it, doing 5 months, and then just retiring. I think he's trolling him at this point. It's rough. Aspinall's just wasting away. A lot of Jones fans have just jumped ship.
But maybe he's looking to properly like bulk up in the right places.
Maybe.
Well,
or he's trolling. I'm just happy it's not my division, dude.
Echoing this sentiment, Chael Sonnen questioned the rationale behind John Jones delaying a showdown with Tom Aspinall, stating there's little point in postponing the inevitable. In Sonnen's view, regardless of whether the fight happens tonight, next week, or a year down the line, the result would remain unchanged.
The only thing that putting 6 months between John and Tom would do, and I don't know who wins between those boys. There's a reason we got to walk them out there and do the actual fight. Nothing will change, though. If they fight tonight, if they fought at Madison Square Garden in November, if they fight in the street in a month, if they fight in 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years, whoever is better will win. You could have slowed that down. You could have changed the dates. You could have changed the venue any way your little mind could fantasize. The only thing you would never change is the outcome. And it's a fun thing to talk about. And trainers love to do that. Trainers love to come out and tell the world, and the guy needed this, and he needed more sleep, he needed to start eating these macros. What they don't tell you is on the back door, they're trying to charge that guy 10% for that information. I mean, that's just a business.
Despite all the discussion, Tom Aspinall remains in the dark about why a fight with John Jones has yet to be finalized. The interim heavyweight champion admitted he has no explanation for the holdup and shares the same confusion as fans eagerly awaiting the matchup. The uncertainty surrounding the potential showdown continues to puzzle even the man at the center of it.
It's a great question, but it's a question that I don't have an answer to, unfortunately. I would love to know myself. I will be asking the questions myself as well.
Doubling down on his self-belief, Aspinall believes his unique skill set is what separates him from the rest of the heavyweight division and from anyone John Jones has faced before. With speed, agility, and fluid movement rarely seen at heavyweight, Aspinall sees himself as a different kind of threat, one that could pose serious problems for the reigning champion.
I don't know if it plays into my hands because he's had so many fights. I think like ring rust is probably for people who've not had as many like title defenses as he's had. So I don't think he'll have that at all. I just think that I'm way different to any other heavyweight out there at the minute, and I think I'm nothing like anybody that he's ever faced before, so I think that's to my advantage. And if you look at statistics, I'm statistically the most dangerous person in the UFC if you look at finish rate and finish time and all that kind of stuff.
In addition, Colby Covington, discussing the matchup, expressed full confidence that Aspinall could defeat Jones and accused the reigning heavyweight champion of actively avoiding the fight. Covington questioned the praise for Jones, claiming his legacy has taken a major hit due to ducking Aspinall. Taking it further, Covington reignited past controversies, referencing Jones's history of legal issues, including allegations of domestic violence, as further stains on his reputation.
I know he has to get that win, but do you think Tom Aspinall's the guy to beat John Jones?
For sure. John's scared of him. He's ducking him, man. He don't want to fight That's why he's like, oh, I'll vacate the title. I'll fight the number 10 guy. Fucking scared. Why do people think John Jones is a GOAT? He literally destroyed his legacy by ducking Tom Aspinall. The guy's a fucking coward, and he's a woman beater. He beat his John Jones.
In defense of Jones, Michael Bisping pushed back on claims that John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall, expressing his belief that Jones will eventually take the fight. While dismissing the idea that Jones is avoiding the challenge, Bisping made it clear he's eager to see the matchup officially announced. He added that if Jones chooses not to face Aspinall, it would undeniably leave a blemish on his legacy.
Really think that John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall?
Do I think? I mean, we haven't had the fight announced, have we? So I'm not saying he would duck him because he's one of the greatest, or if not the greatest fighter that we've ever seen. I just want to see the fight announced, And I think that if John Jones doesn't fight Tom Aspinall, then I think that will definitely affect his legacy.
As tensions continue to rise, it's becoming increasingly difficult for fans and pundits to ignore the optics, as each time Tom Aspinall's name comes up, John Jones appears to vanish from the conversation, prompting accusations that he's running with his tail tucked. The prolonged silence and lack of movement on the fight only fuel the perception that Jones may be avoiding the surging interim champ.
You put two guys in a room and who walks out?
What's up, guys? How we doing? How's it going? How are you? Doing all right. Are you guys in? Hey, I'm not gonna do this interview. You don't want to do it? No, because it's gonna be an Aspinall fest. I'm not doing it.
In a bold and defiant response to the growing narrative that he's ducking Tom Aspinall, John Jones leaned into the controversy by changing his social media profile pictures to an image of a duck wearing the UFC championship belt. The move, dripping with sarcasm, appears to be Jones's way of mocking the critics and reclaiming control of the conversation.
I see quite a few people here calling me a duck. I'm a duck. Call me a duck. Call me a chicken. Call me a goat. Call me a dog. I'm not in high school anymore, guys. A grown man out here chasing his dreams. It's funny that we really live in a world where being called a duck should affect me. Guys, come on.
Moreover, John Jones downplayed the threat posed by Tom Aspinall as he brushed him off as just another contender, comparable to past challengers. While acknowledging Aspinall's potential, Jones made it clear he doesn't view the interim champ as a fighter worth staking his legacy on, further fueling the back and forth between the two heavyweight standouts. He made clear that without basic professionalism and respect, there's no room for negotiations.
You know, Aspinall to me is no difference than an Owen St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith. They're like just another up and coming. I just don't even want to do business with him. You know, at the end of the day, this is a business, and fighting me gives him an opportunity to change his life forever. And I don't even want to give him the opportunity. Like he just played his cards wrong with me personally, and you know I'm 3 years from being a 40-year-old grown man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the press conference, going through the whole shebang with him, I'd rather not do. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an ass that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying, and obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot, but he's just an ass. You know, with his you know, he's 30, so he's from this influencer generation where you hop online and the t-shirt sales and all that. I'm past that type of stuff. I'm like, bro, if you had a little bit more respect, then maybe we could have worked something out, you know.
However, Tom Aspinall remains skeptical about reports claiming John Jones will be out for another 6 months. He openly questioned whether the timeline actually came from Jones himself, or if it's just another media-driven narrative. Having spent years in the fight game, Aspinall admitted he's grown wary of trusting everything that makes the headlines.
What does that make you think?
I don't know, like, is that just a headline though? Or has he actually said that? I don't know. I don't really believe anything that's said in the media now, because I've been around that a little bit, and I know that not everything is true. And I know sometimes we put stuff out there that's not completely true and people run with it. So we'll find out. I'll find out off the UFC, and that's all I'll listen to, really.
Pushing back, interim UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall grew tired of the constant chatter about a possible fight with John Jones. The British fighter made it clear he's lost interest in the speculation and is simply waiting for the UFC to give him the green light. He's ready whenever they are.
John Jones, you don't know where you stand. Dana said it's the biggest fight in UFC history now, so...
Yeah, I've had enough talking about it, mate. I'm honestly bored of it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll just see. I'm ready to fight whenever they tell me.
Rounding out the criticism, Luke Thomas took aim at the ongoing delay surrounding John Jones, suggesting that Jones's calls for increased pay might be little more than a stalling tactic. Thomas questioned the logic behind the prolonged wait, pointing out that Jones has already spent 3 years preparing for his move to heavyweight, leaving many to wonder why additional time is suddenly needed before stepping into the cage again.
Attempt at asking for more money as just yet another delay. And in fact, the delays to me are actually kind of the problem here. Did he not take off 3 years in order to get his body right for heavyweight? Did that not happen? Did I imagine that? Did he fight between the Reyes and the Gane fight and we just didn't see it or something like that? What are we talking about here? But a big part of that was, I'm not gonna rush to heavyweight, he told us. Not gonna make some kind of blitz into heavyweight and just not do this the right way. Gotta do this the right way. Gotta do it the right way to get your body right. And he did, and then he fought, and then he won the title. And granted, he was supposed to fight, I think that was March of 2023. He was gonna fight in November 2023, and he got injured. Okay, you had yet more time off for that, to the point where it was yet another year delayed.
Tom Aspinall waits, gloves laced, crown in hand, and eyes locked on a champion who seems more ghost than gladiator. As the clock ticks and the silence grows louder, the world wonders, will Jon Jones ever show up to defend his throne? Or has the king already left the arena? Fans worldwide now wait on edge, eager to see if the UFC will finally book the fight that could define the heavyweight division. Smash that like button and drop your prediction in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for all the latest MMA drama, fight news, and click the bell icon so you're always up to date.